everybody. Welcome to the True Crime News. I'm Morgan Rector,
I tonight am going to just be Rachel Telfor.
and we have a guest with us tonight. Please welcome Raymond Hazen Jr.
How we doing, everybody? Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, Raisin.
Hey.
I actually called him Raisin. Can you believe that?
It's all right. That's something used to happen to me a lot growing up. I mean,
Well, I did forget his whole.
Hazen.
I forgot his whole name last True Crime News episode. So.
Well, he's a good choice for this episode because he has a show called Fact You. Before we go on, Ray, why don't you tell us and the listeners about that show, what it consists of?
Yeah, my show, it's called Fact You. It's a show that can give a fact. It's a place where myself and a co-host of mine get on there and we talk about political, current event, news, all kinds of stuff that's going on. And we talk about, the facts behind it. And, whether people like it or not, because the problem is there is a lot of fake news out there. There's a lot of things that people are being told that just is not accurate. Like the case we're going to cover tonight, there are a lot of things that mainstream media is saying that is just not accurate. And on my show, we like to get around that. Like, I'm going to tell you what is real, and you don't have to like me behind it, but you'll get the actual facts. Take them and do with what you wish. That's all,
That's and oh, by the way, and what is the availability of the show? How can they go and watch it?
Oh, well, it's on YouTube. It's on my channel, Conehead Entertainment, or we're also on Rumble. You can look us up on Rumble on Conehead Entertainment. Type in Fact You or Conehead Entertainment, and you should be able to find us. But the show's called Fact You. FACTYOU with an exclamation point at the end of the U.
And Conehead is spelled with a K, by the way.
That's right, KONEHEAD as one word. Conehead Entertainment.
And speaking of fake news, so while I never really followed it that closely, this story. Obviously it was out there, it came up, but I would just glance at it because I've kind of been on a self-imposed news blackout, except for the true crime news. And so
Same.
Like what I took away from it, just based on that very shallow impression, was that so the Black Lives Matter protest started up. He went out there with an AR-15 rifle and shot people. You haven't
even told people what the case is.
And that's not even close to accurate. That's what the news is. That's what the
First
news
of all,
is saying.
Everyone,
that's not even accurate.
Boys.
Go ahead.
So on tonight's show, we are actually going to be discussing a very, very controversial subject. So Absolutely. If you are one of those people who is going to be easily offended, it's probably not the episode for you. I'm going to try to not be as Rachel-y as I usually am. And with all due respect to my lovely, wonderful friend and part of our Papo, Ray, people can only know actual facts if they're actually there and witnessing it.
Or video evidence.
Excuse me.
Video evidence.
Otherwise, you have to go by, any video evidence there is, and a lot of freaking hearsay.
The video evidence is mentioned in the article here.
Yeah, 100%. But the rest, Ray, this is my show, our show. So what I'm saying is, a lot of what you hear in any media, I don't give a shit what you're listening to or watching, is media. It's whatever agenda that specific media is geared toward is what you're going to get. Oh, yeah. But when we talk about this case tonight, I personally am going to try to stick to law. And if I were on the jury, how I would have seen what was presented to me and how it was presented to me.
And here's another important detail as well, is that as far as the political spectrum goes, we actually have people representing three different points of the spectrum. Ray is a conservative, Rachel's a liberal, and I'm in the middle. I'm in the centrist position, and in a very Canadian position as well. Like one point of view I have is that he should have stayed home. I know how boring that sounds, but
let's save that. I want to save getting into that for later, because I mean those are all key points of contention in this case. So I think
Morgan, you're right, Morgan.
Run down the case a little bit.
The cops should have stepped in.
So you're already gonna
the National Guard should have been there, but no one was for multiple days. These people were destroying and burning and looting the city over.
See, this is a typical conservative response to just butt in and say what he wants to say.
No, I mean, I'm just putting in my side, like.
yeah, it wasn't. We're not there yet.
So let's go on. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll start with the background.
Thank you.
So on August 23rd, 2020, protests erupted in Kenosha after the shooting of Jacob Blake, an African-American man who was shot 7 times and hit 4 times by a Kenosha police officer and became paralyzed from the waist down, following a resurgence in protests that were part of the Black Lives Matter movement after other high-profile killings of African Americans by police officers in 2020. The protests in Kenosha included rallies, marches, property damage, arson, and clashes with police between August 23rd and September 1st. On August 25th, former Kenosha Alderman Kevin Mathewson put out a call on the Facebook page of the Kenosha Guard militia group for patriots willing to take up arms and defend Kenosha. Mathewson had previously formed the Kenosha Guard in response to the George Floyd protests earlier that year. The post received a national and international online response. Kenosha Mayor John Antamarian, I don't know how to pronounce the guy's last name.
You did good.
Oh, okay. And County Sheriff David Beth expressed their disapproval of armed civilians patrolling the streets, while some Wisconsin police officers were seen in a video giving them water and heard saying, "We appreciate you guys, we really do." So that militia, that's not the Kenosha Guard, that's not an official government group, right? That's private citizens? Okay.
No militias really are officially official. Those are private citizens that band together to, defend their communities and the people that live there. The way it's always been. No militia has ever been technically official or sanctioned throughout the history of time. Not that I know of.
I also want to say real quick before, because I don't want to see it off on tangents, because I know that. So yes, the reason this happened and the reason why it was such a big and highly publicized case is because it did happen during Black Lives Matter, but I want to keep that separated from this specific case. Just my opinion.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you can, because
it does have something to do with it, but I don't want to get off on that's a whole different
that is a whole other topic, but we can state that Black Lives Matter was out there and they shouldn't even have been in the first place. They were defending a bad man that was in the wrong.
Wow, I probably should just sign off now.
That he was a sex offender that was kidnapping children, fought police, was wrestled to the ground, and pulled a knife on the cops. She called the police on him because he was kidnapping the kids.
Oh, okay.
Jacob Blake. Those are all facts, okay? Those are all facts of what happened. Jacob Blake was a sex offender who was there kidnapping children from a woman.
I thought you were talking about George Floyd.
George Floyd.
Really
I'm talking about Jacob Blake.
The whole
George Floyd has set it all off. George Floyd is an unfortunate
circumstance. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But what set it off.
I think that the cop is guilty of murder? No, I don't.
So you're saying the sex offenses happened at the time that he was.
So that
no.
That cop has the right to be judge, jury, and trial.
No. You got to understand. You're talking to a guy who's been knelt on in the neck by bigger cops than him for longer. George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose. Is what he.
You are fucking kidding me right now.
The autopsy even proved it.
You're out of your fucking mind, dude.
I'm actually not. These are facts. The autopsy even proved it. It was stated in the court case. Autopsy proved it. But it was all political, Is that cop right? No. Should he have sat there like that?
I apologize to all of our listeners.
But okay, you don't have to. Like I said, no one has to like me. I'm just going to state things that are actual facts. People don't have to agree.
Well, I'm going to tell you an actual fact. A fucking cop sat with a goddamn knee on a man's neck for 9 minutes while he was telling him he couldn't fucking breathe, and he didn't do anything about it.
He started screaming, "I can't breathe," before that ever happened.
You know what?
Before,
Okay.
before he
Show
was
me.
ever on the
Send me.
ground.
Oh, were you there? Oh, you were there. You saw it happen.
I watched.
Oh, I
Yeah, I
watched
watched
video.
video
So have I. Ray, what
of
video
him
are you
sitting,
watching? You're
of
watching
him
what's on the
sitting
fucking internet.
of him sitting in the back of the cop car saying, "I can't breathe," before he was ever on the ground. Yes, that is fact, Rachel.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm really.
And do you know why? Do you know why? Because he was suffering from a fentanyl overdose.
Okay,
that is why.
I want somebody that is I don't know, equally the size of you to put their knee in your neck.
It's happened. I've had 3 cops on me with their knees on me for
You probably fucking deserved it.
You know, I was fighting him. Yeah, you're right. If you comply, that never happens. The man was.
You don't think he was complying?
No, he wasn't.
So what did
just the whole time?
All right. Anyway, we're doing exactly what I said I don't want to do. So go back to the Rittenhouse.
So Jacob Blake, what did he do to provoke the cops?
Jacob Blake was a sexual predator. He's a sexual offender. He had raped a girl, and the mother of his kids had a restraining order against him. He showed up and was taking the kids against her will, against the restraining order. She called the police. When the police came, he fought them. They wrestled him to the ground. He got up and away from them, went around to the car to the driver's side, pulled a knife out from underneath the driver's side seat to go at the cops with the knife, and got shot. Now, the media
what does that have to do with Kyle Rittenhouse being down with a gun at 17 years old?
The media painted it as an innocent black man being murdered, which it wasn't, or being attacked and shot by cops. Okay,
let's say I'll give you that.
That's how the Kenosha riot started. It was behind that.
Okay.
And so they went on for 2 days. No police would go in there. No National Guard would go in there. No one would go in there and stop anything. What are we supposed to do? Just let Black Lives Matter and Antifa and everybody just burn the cities to the ground anytime they want? No, there comes a time where if no one's going to step in, it's up to the people ourselves to step up and go, no, you can't do this to our community. Okay?
That was a child.
And that's what happened.
That was a child.
No, that's a young man. That's a young man.
That was it. No, he was in the eyes of the law. He is a child. He is not 18 years old.
He was a young man.
He is a child.
And
I have children. He's a fucking child.
Plenty of 17-year-olds are in the Army. And that's true.
He is a child.
When you're 17, don't you need to be?
No, you have to be 18, by the way.
He was.
No. You do not have.
Law.
You do not have to be 18 to possess a firearm.
I'll pull up all the laws. Don't worry.
Go ahead.
No, you do not have to be. No, you do not have to be 17. However, because the Wisconsin law is, I'll tell you exactly what happened.
So if you're 17, you can own a gun, but you can't drink.
Here's what it was. The evolution of the law on children and guns, it's weird. Because prior to 1987, Wisconsin banned children from possessing pistols. Then a Republican governor, Tommy Thompson, signed a law that expanded the prohibition to include short-barreled firearms, electric weapons, brass knuckles, throwing stars, and nunchucks. 4 years later, he signed another law extending the prohibition to any firearm, but that law also allowed minors to possess long guns for hunting, as the barrels were at least a foot long. So the law was not. It's a shitty law. It's not clear. So what they're saying is, okay, a child can go hunt with his dad. All right, that's acceptable. You need to specifically put verbiage in that law to prevent this kind of shit from. Should an 8-year-old be allowed? I mean, would my 10-year-old be cool just taking a rifle and going into the middle of a Black Lives Matter protest and fucking firing off at people? It's the same thing.
No, it's not even close to the
Yes, it is, Ray. Yes, it is.
No, it's not. How many 8-year-olds are in the military?
He's not in the
right now.
Holy shit.
But there are 17-year-olds that are. That's my point. There are 17-year-olds that are.
Okay.
17-year-olds are young adults. 8-year-olds are not young adults.
Okay.
That's different.
Okay.
That's very different.
All right.
That's like saying a hovercraft is an airplane because technically it's on air.
Okay.
That's not even close to the same thing, Rachel.
You're right.
All right, let's move on then. So
by the way, that's what I do to people who have ignorant arguments that you can't really argue with because they're not going to believe in.
Actually, the only one with an ignorant argument right now is you. Like I'm just stating facts and things that are real.
Yeah.
You know, Paige? Like
sure. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yes, facts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so before the shooting, that's the next section here. So during the day of August 25th, peaceful protests in Kenosha were followed by chaos where demonstrators, armed civilians, and others faced off against one another and the police at night. After the city suffered building and vehicular damage the preceding day, social media had drawn locals and outsiders, left-wing activists, and right-wing militia into the city streets despite an evening curfew imposed on citizens. Some 250 National Guard members were deployed to the city, militia that included Boogaloo Boys, and a biker crew carrying hatchets, ball bats, and firearms accumulated near two gas stations south of Car Source, an automotive business with three properties, a dealership, a used car lot, and another car lot to the south, which had been badly damaged during the first 2 nights of unrest. Car Source had suffered $1.5 million in arson damage the previous night. The shootings took place shortly before midnight along Sheridan Road in Kenosha after protesters were moved out of Civic Center Park following clashes with law enforcement. Police and armored vehicles drove protesters south away from the courthouse in Civic Center Park. Kyle Rittenhouse was a resident of Antioch, Illinois, about 20 miles from Kenosha by road. Prior to the Kenosha unrest, he had participated in local police cadet programs and expressed support on social media for the Blue Lives Matter movement and law enforcement.
He also worked in Kenosha. His dad lived in Kenosha. His grandma lived in Kenosha.
Yeah, and he had some medical training because he intended to become a nurse. On August 24th, he drove to Kenosha to stay with his friend Dominic Black, who kept a rifle he purchased for Rittenhouse 4 months earlier at his Kenosha home. The following day, August 25th, Rittenhouse helped clean graffiti off a school. Later, together with Black, he arrived at Car Source. Accounts differ as to whether Rittenhouse and Black's help was requested by Car Source. The dealership owner's sons denied that gunmen had been asked to defend the business, but several witnesses testified that armed individuals had been directly sought out by the business.
There's a picture with the owner and about 15 of them, the owner of all the Car Sources, taking pictures together that night.
Oh, the owner?
Yeah.
Okay. In the hours leading up to the shooting, Rittenhouse appeared in multiple videos taken by protesters and bystanders and was interviewed twice. First by a live streamer at the car dealership, where he and a number of other armed men had stationed themselves. Second by Richie McGinnis, a reporter for the Daily Caller. Rittenhouse was seen talking with police officers and offering medical aid to those who were injured. When McGinnis asked Rittenhouse why he was at the car dealership, he responded, "So people are getting injured, and our job is to protect this business. Part of my job is also to help people. If there is somebody hurt, I'm running into harm's way. That's why I have my rifle, because I have to protect myself, obviously. I also have my med kit." At some point, Rittenhouse left the dealership, was prevented by police from returning, and then headed to the Car Source lot farthest to the south. Well, was it his job?
No.
Why not?
Well, it's a nice thing to do. It's well intentioned, but was it his?
Well, he's a child who shouldn't have a gun in that situation.
He's out there helping with many other people. Yes.
He's a child.
You can say what you want. He's basically a man.
He's
17 years old.
He's a child.
You know. When no one else is stepping up and helping.
He's a child.
What are we supposed to do? Just let the murderers and the rapists and everybody.
I don't know. His mother should have been protecting him as a child, because over my dead fucking body would my kid be out there with a goddamn gun.
Well, the police and the National Guard.
You're right, because I would be out there so my son wouldn't have to be.
Well, the police and the National Guard, they have the training to deal with these situations.
But that's the problem, Morgan. They're not calling them in on purpose because they let these people just run rampant and do whatever they want.
There was absolutely no police or law enforcement out there at all.
They were not calling them in at all. And
I didn't see any law enforcement. Did you?
No, they didn't call them, which is funny though, Rachel.
Morgan, did you see? Excuse me, hang on. I'm asking Morgan a question. Morgan, did you see any law enforcement at all in any of the videos that you saw of this case?
I didn't watch the videos actually. But there is some mention of the videos in the rest of the article.
There were some city police, like after it was all done. Remember, Kyle's walking down, and the few cops drive past him. Like the cops were doing nothing more than herding people. They were herding the crowd to certain areas, so they wouldn't just sit in one spot or destroy too much air. But they were letting them have free run at whatever they wanted. You know, these people were like lighting garbage cans on fire and trying to push a flaming garbage can into a gas station. You know, that got luckily stopped and put out. That's one of the things that Kyle did. And if he didn't put that out, do you imagine what would happen if that flaming garbage can hit that gas station? Like, we would be talking about a whole different story right now.
Maybe 2 people have died. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I have to say, it's
people
not
attacking the poor kid. You're right. Yeah, a lot more people would have died too from the explosion.
Well, I mean, you know, the injustice that happened.
Yeah. The poor kid, like the Joseph.
Now you're gonna call? Oh, you just admitted he's a kid.
The rapist, convicted
you just
rapist.
Admitted he's a kid. He's a child.
No, I'm saying you
just said
kid.
it.
I said, oh, poor kid, in contradiction to you.
You said
you
kid.
Just said poor. I know, Rachel. I'm not denying that. I'm saying because you were just like, oh, the poor kid. Yes, I'm doing.
So here's my problem with the case. The jury did not and was not allowed to factor in the fact that he was carrying a gun because.
What does that matter?
Because it would have given them another reason. So even though it was only a misdemeanor, and it would have been punishable like by a minimum, not a huge amount of time, it would have offered the jury a way to convict him of a lesser crime.
But it wasn't illegal.
Okay. I'm sorry.
But it wasn't.
Yeah, you're right. But here's why. Because the law.
So we can't just make
what
up
they say. No, because the legal system is shit. Is why.
No, the legal system is right, and it did right.
No, the legal system is shit because.
No, it's correct.
No, it is not.
No,
because
it is.
It literally quoted is an extraordinarily poorly worded statute, that the gun law, marred by technical language and too many cross referrals to other sections of Wisconsin weapons and hunting laws. He said, okay, this was the one of the lawmakers in Wisconsin. He said that it's typical that more obscure areas of state law that get little attention. The reason why this law is so confusing is legal doctrine calls for the judges to interpret it in favor of the defendants. In which case I go, that judge who served over this trial,
I believe was biased.
Like it.
It's only confusing when you don't like
bullshit.
Rachel, do you know that the liberal left
is fucking kidding me.
Do you know that the liberal left has
loved law is law, dude? If it's
the liberal left has loved this judge for almost 40 years. He calls every case.
Forget about the judge, okay? Forget about the judge.
For
the law is flawed.
But it doesn't go the way the left likes.
The law is flawed.
The asshole. No, the law is flawed. But for once it worked correctly, we had a judge that wasn't going to allow outside situations sway this case. The boy did nothing wrong. He got attacked by a fucking rapist. He got attacked by another guy. He got attacked by a goddamn group. He shot nothing but white people. He shot no one who wasn't attacking him.
You're insane, dude.
No, I'm 100% accurate. And the jury agreed with me. No, I'm not.
Of course the jury doesn't get all the fucking facts, so.
No, they do, and they did.
No, they don't.
The jury gets past any of us because they sit there and get given all the facts. They get given all the facts.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that Morgan and I have covered way more trials than you have, and Morgan.
Okay, but you haven't covered this one more than.
Excuse me. Let me finish.
You have not covered this one.
Can I finish my thought? Thank you, Morgan. Would you agree that a lot more than 50% of the time the jurors do not get all the facts?
No.
Yeah, and they can be biased too, because at this point, like, it's impossible not to influence the jury.
No one gets more facts than jurors, Morgan.
You are 100% wrong. You are incorrect,
they're still human beings. They're still human beings, though. They have biases.
All the facts. Yes, they can have biases. Yes, they can be prejudiced.
You're incorrect. You're so incorrect.
So you're telling me the facts the cops don't have? You're telling me there's facts cops don't have, and they don't turn that shit in?
What? Yes.
So
yes.
So you're telling me then
happens all the time.
So,
Number
so
two,
then how come
stuff that the jury is not allowed to hear because I'm not.
If there's new facts that come in,
so silly.
No. Jurors are not allowed to not hear about facts. They're allowed. They're allowed to not hear what the judge and the lawyers talk about behind it. But anytime facts are presented,
I'm done having this conversation with you because you can't argue with this type of a person and their mentality.
But you're 1,000,000% wrong.
Okay.
No, I watched every second of this case for starters. Every second. I sat there for a week and a half watching this case.
Have you watched every case?
Not every case ever, but I watch a lot of cases, yes.
Okay.
Real cases, yes.
Question, the gun laws, don't they vary from state to state?
Yes.
They very much vary from state to state.
Heavily.
Yeah. I mean, I see it, I'm a total outsider because, I mean, some people have guns in Canada, criminals, and some people hunt, but there's no rights attached to it, so it's the culture is very different. So I know how passionate people in the United States are about guns, whether they're for
to me, it's not even about the guns. It's about the fact that he was a minor.
Yeah.
And he had
He has the right to defend himself.
I'm not okay.
Well, he should have just
he defended himself against something that he walked into looking for. Okay.
Don't you? He did not walk into looking for anything. He went there to protect property and stop violent people from doing violent things.
That's what
Joseph Rosenbaum.
Were you in his head? Do you know Do you really know that? You know what was reported to you. You don't know what he was thinking. You don't know.
Well, I know what he was thinking because I listened to his. Did you watch his testimony? Did you watch him speak on the stage? I did. I watched everyone else that was.
I watched a lot of people get up there, actual murderers, and lie, and you would have believed them because they're really good at just saying, acting. You don't know.
I don't think.
You don't fucking know.
I also watched the video evidence, and I watched convicted rapists try to attack him.
Well, then you should be the goddamn judge, the goddamn Supreme Court judge, because you know everything by watching shit you see on the.
Watch shit you see on TV is what you see on CNN.
I don't watch TV.
Like police cam footage, body cam footage, people's fucking unedited videos. That's what's accurate.
And guess who? Guess who determines what you see? The fucking media.
Yeah.
That's why I don't watch CNN. Because I want.
I don't watch CNN either, Ray.
I never said you.
But you're only gonna get what people want you to put out, dude.
That's why I go to reliable sources that actually show you what they're thinking.
Are you in the CIA? Because that's a fucking reliable source to me.
No.
Are you in the FBI? No, you're a civilian that's getting the same information that everyone else is. It's what people want.
The FBI withheld information in this case. The FBI has not given you the truth.
Golly, man. Oof.
I'm sorry you're not aware of the reality of things, Rick.
Please don't ever say you're sorry. Do not ever apologize for me. I'm perfectly okay.
Well, I'm not apologizing for you. I'm apologizing to you. Like, I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. Don't apologize to me. I find that offensive.
Even all the information of things.
I'm sorry for you. How about that?
No, don't be sorry for me because I'm the one who actually sees.
Oh, no.
Part of the problem with the mainstream media as well is the corporate interests that finance them. There are certain products and services owned by corporations. Like certain segments of the population will only buy products or services based on their perspective, their lifestyles, and that can affect media coverage because they don't want to offend certain quarters, and so that's where we get the bias. So moving on to the first confrontation. So part of the first confrontation between Rittenhouse and Rosenbaum was witnessed by McGinnis, to whom it seemed that Rosenbaum and other protesters were moving toward Rittenhouse, who was trying to evade them. Rosenbaum tried to engage Rittenhouse, who avoided this by sidestepping and running away. Rittenhouse testified at trial that Rosenbaum had threatened to kill him. FBI infrared footage taken from an overhead airplane captured the shooting of Rosenbaum and the events immediately preceding it. Video footage showed Rittenhouse being pursued across a parking lot by a group of people. Rosenbaum threw a plastic bag containing socks, underwear, and deodorant at Rittenhouse. A bystander named Joshua Zeminski fired a shot into the air, and then Rittenhouse stopped running and turned towards the sound of the shot. Rittenhouse testified at trial that prior to being chased by Rosenbaum, he heard another man tell Rosenbaum to, quote, get him and kill him, end quote, but also knew that Rosenbaum was unarmed. Rittenhouse testified that he aimed his gun at Rosenbaum to deter him from pursuing him further. Witnesses for the prosecution testified at trial that Rosenbaum engaged Rittenhouse and tried to take his rifle from him. At 11:48 p.m., Rittenhouse then fired 4 rounds at Rosenbaum, hitting his groin, back, and left hand. The bullets perforated Rosenbaum's heart, aorta, pulmonary artery, and right lung, fractured his pelvis, and caused minor wounds to his left thigh and forehead. McGinnis began administering first aid to Rosenbaum. Rittenhouse stood over McGinnis for half of a minute before fleeing and was heard saying, I just killed somebody, on his cell phone to his friend, Dominic Black, as he sprinted out of the parking lot where he had shot Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum died shortly afterwards. Rittenhouse then ran down the street towards police vehicles, pursued by a few protesters. So that's the self-defense part anyway.
And rightfully so.
What do you think, Rachel?
I'm going to stick to what I said from the beginning. He shouldn't have been there.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm
let me
never
finish
gonna
my thought, please,
that.
Ray. Let me finish my fucking thought.
I thought you did because you paused and stopped, so I thought you
All
did.
right, well, I'm pausing for effect and to not spew shit. Did he act in self-defense at that moment? Probably yes. He's a 17-year-old child with a fucking AK that shouldn't be there in the first place. First of all, he's not even responsible enough to make good split decisions because his goddamn brain isn't even developed yet enough to do that. And no, you're right. 18-year-olds who go serve, they come back with fucking PTSD, dude. He shouldn't have been there. He's a child.
If I had a 17-year-old son, I wouldn't have allowed him to go to that.
Can I respond to that right there?
That's all I have to say.
I agree 100% with everything you just said. I've never disagreed with what you just stated. Here's the thing, though. The fact that he shouldn't have been there doesn't make him now guilty of everything. Okay?
I agree.
And you're right. If more adults, or let's say who should have been doing the right thing, as in the police, the National Guard, the governor, the mayor, if these people were stepping in to do what was right and protect gas stations from being blown up and things, then that boy never would have been there. And you're 100% correct. And that's what should have been happening this whole time. But the issue is it's all political, and they're not going to step in, and they weren't going to step in. They were going to let this shit burn for a third and fourth and fifth night. And then it comes to a point where the citizens step in, which is our right to do, to defend ourselves and our properties and our places and our things and our communities. If someone goes down and starts trying to light the school on fire, I don't even have a kid that goes down there. But you know what? This is my county and my community, and I pay taxes, and I got friends who got kids that go to that school, and I have a right to go defend that school, right?
Yeah, question for you then. Where do you cross the line?
I think the arson's crossing the line. I will
No. That's not, my question is, where do you cross the line now? This is giving this verdict is giving a message to the rest of our nation, right? Where do you cross the line against a kid having a gun and shooting and killing somebody, saying it's self-defense?
If it actually is or not. That's the thing. Like, because when we saw the video evidence, Rach, it was obvious that it was. When they're standing above him trying to kick him, when you're watching Gage Grosskreutz pull a gun out,
have fucking been there.
You're right.
He went to it. He went to it.
But
with an AK. You think he didn't go to cause harm?
Okay. Do you think an AK is bad?
No, I'm saying when you show up at a goddamn Black Lives Matter fucking
Well, you know what? They shouldn't have been there in the first place. They should have been stopped 2 nights ago.
I don't understand why in a 17-year-old brain you would think that it is your responsibility to take a fucking semi-automatic rifle and go into a goddamn shitstorm and think that you're not going to get in some kind of shit, dude.
Semi-automatic rifle is a misconception because any gun where you pull the trigger one time and one bullet comes out, that's a semi-automatic. So a handgun is a semi-automatic. Every gun is either semi-automatic or automatic.
I'm sorry. Did I say something incorrect?
No, you didn't. It's just people say that because it makes it sound scarier. So I'm just simply trying to remove that stigma.
I know my fucking guns. I'm not afraid of fucking guns, dude. Okay? I don't mind guns. Okay, I'm not anti-gun.
I talk to the listeners more than I talk to you right now. Like, I'm making sure.
Oh, I can't wait.
Because the average listener may or may not know this stuff. I don't know.
Got you. Understood. All right. I'm sorry. My bad.
My knowledge of guns is pretty rudimentary. So is the AR-15, is that a machine gun?
No, not at all. It's no different than a handgun. You pull the trigger one time, one bullet comes out. That's it. Boom, boom, boom. Yep. It's a rifle. It's got a handle. You can hold it. It's got a scope. Like, it's for military uses it a lot, but it's a semi-automatic. One bullet, one pull of the trigger. That's it. It is not a machine gun. AR does not stand for assault rifle. It stands for armor light.
Okay, but listen. But if you're let's say you are you're tied up in a basement, Morgan, what would you be more intimidated by? Somebody walking in with a Glock or an AR-15?
Well, yeah, the AR-15, it's much bigger, longer.
Well, more people are killed by handguns than any other gun in the world, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
More people have them, dip noggin.
Yeah, exactly. So you should be way more scared of the handgun because more people have access.
I'm saying in this instance,
have more of a chance
Ray,
of dying from
especially that.
He literally walked into a fucking Black Lives Matter riot as a young white kid with a fucking AR-15, dude. What do you think is gonna happen? It's a stupid decision.
I'm not saying it's a stupid or right decision. I'm saying it's simply
held accountable for what the fuck happened because he shouldn't have been there.
And he was held accountable, and it was found not guilty, rightfully so. He was held accountable. He had a goddamn trial. You can't say they didn't hold him accountable. And they did, and he was found not guilty, rightfully so.
I want you to know trials are always fair. And always 100% purely factual.
No, but this one was. Even the prosecution's witnesses were saying things that said, oh, yeah, he didn't point the gun at me until I pulled my gun out. Oh, well, I heard him. Did you actually watch the case, Rachel, or are you just saying you watched the case? Because, this was a cut and dry, open, shut case before there's video evidence. Okay, Joseph Rosenbaum was a child raper. He used to rape little boys. I'm not
saying that he did not defend himself.
Yeah.
And
so
my whole point is, number one, he shouldn't have been there. And number two, he should. The gun law in that state is fucked, and it was not presented.
Let me ask you a question real quick, please. If he maybe defended himself, and your argument just is he shouldn't have been there in the first place. So are you telling me the only thing that he really did wrong and it makes him guilty of everything is the fact that he was just wrong place?
No, also, if the jury were presented the gun law and it were not so vague,
they were
could have been charged.
The gun law.
No,
that's why the gun charge was removed, because they realized he didn't break a law.
Again, the reason why because it's an quote, extraordinarily poorly worded statute. So it's a shitty law.
No, he didn't break the law. And so they removed it. That's what really happened. And people are reaching and grasping for straws to try to make sense of what happened instead of just accepting the reality of self-defense. This boy really had self-defense. This boy was really attacked by vicious people doing vicious things that night, and he was attacked, and he defended himself. And the justice system, for once, actually stood up and defended a young man, rightfully so, instead of just railroading him for the goddamn masses. That's what actually happened.
You know what I love about this whole entire segment is that you're saying this and defending this boy so passionately, but yet you totally fucking shit on George Floyd.
George
it's so
Floyd
fucking.
held guns to pregnant women's bellies while they robbed houses. George Floyd had 15 convictions. George Floyd was high on.
So he deserved to die, is what you're saying. He deserved to die.
No,
that's what you're saying.
No,
he deserved to die.
All. No, I'm just simply saying that cop didn't kill him.
Oh my God.
I'm not saying the cop's not responsible. I'm not saying
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I've lost like a lot of fucking respect.
That's fine, Rachel. You can lose. I didn't think you had any to start with. That's fine. I don't give a shit. I'm just simply stating.
Oh, no, I did. I did actually.
That like, okay, good. Okay, cool. Sorry, whatever. I don't care. I'm just simply stating that. Like,
but I do think it comes off rather racist.
How? Why? You're putting race into things that aren't necessary. Just
because
like
racism is a fucking issue, dude.
No, it's not.
Think racism is an issue?
No, racism doesn't exist in America.
Oh
do you know the only systemic racist law there is called affirmative action?
Nope.
The only systemic racist action is called affirmative action. There is no systemic racism in this country, Rachel.
You are absolutely insane. You are fucking insane.
No, I'm done.
I'm done. I'm out. No.
No.
I'm out.
All right, bye.
Nope. I'm out. Sorry.
That's fine. How about I go? It's your show. How about I go? It's your show. Rachel, you're crazy.
No one's going.
No.
Fuck.
No, I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm done. I'm out.
Would you like to have a debate on this one? Because trust me, I'll win this one too.
You're not gonna win shit, dude. I'm done. I'm out.
Because all I'm doing is stating facts while you live on emotions. Okay, what is racist? What is systemically racist? You name one thing. Go.
Everything.
Oh, everything. That's not an answer, Rachel. Go ahead. You can't, because there is none.
It's just a fucking bullshit. Done speaking with you.
See, that's the
difference between people like you who genuinely think that will never open their mind.
No, because I'm not going to open something that isn't real.
You're fucking brainwashed, bro.
No, I'm not. You are. You're brainwashed into hating yourself.
So funny.
And that's sad. No, it's
dude,
not funny.
I love my life. I love myself. I love everything about me.
Oh, yeah. You seem like a very happy person, Rachel.
I'm literally very fucking happy. Thank you very much.
You don't come off like one.
No, I'm just passionate about the things I care about.
I'm a very feminist every time I ever talk to you.
Oh, wow. Thank you for the compliment.
All right. Speaking of confrontations, we'll move on to the second confrontation of the Kenosha incident. Gage, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this person's surname correctly. Grosskreutz, that's what it is. Testified that he was filming the protest as a legal observer for the American Civil Liberties Union on a Facebook live stream. Shortly before midnight, he said he heard gunshots to the south and observed Rittenhouse running in his direction on Sheridan Road. Grosskreutz said he ran alongside Rittenhouse and asked, "Hey, what are you doing? And you shoot somebody?" Protesters were heard on two different videos yelling, "Beat him up," "Hey, he shot him," and "Get him, get that dude." One individual struck Rittenhouse, knocking off his cap, shortly after which Rittenhouse tripped and fell to the ground. Others shouted, "What'd he do? Just shot someone, and get his ass." While he was on the ground, one of the men in pursuit jump-kicked Rittenhouse, who fired twice but missed the man. Another protester, Anthony Huber, made contact with Rittenhouse's left shoulder with a skateboard as the pair struggled for control of a gun.
He hit him in the head, Morgan. He hit him in the head.
As Huber was pulling on the rifle, Rittenhouse fired once, hitting Huber in the chest, perforating his heart and right lung, causing his rapid death. Grosskreutz testified he believed Rittenhouse was an active shooter. Grosskreutz had an expired concealed carry permit for a handgun and was carrying a Glock pistol.
He was illegally carrying a pistol. Do you guys catch that?
He was legally or illegally? Okay.
Illegally.
Oh, yeah, it was expired. Okay.
Yes, exactly. So he did not have a permit to have that gun.
He approached Rittenhouse, who was on the ground, but stopped and put his hands up.
Did Kyle have a permit to have his gun?
Grosskreitz's permit was expired, yeah.
No, Kyle did have a permit to have his gun?
Hence why the firearm
He had a permit for his gun. It was registered to him.
Hence why the firearm charges were dismissed. He wasn't found guilty of a firearms charge. That's why they dropped it before they ever had to go to the decision. Yes, he didn't break a law. He really, really didn't. But continue. So he's being attacked by multiple people.
Grosskreutz
One of them's already grabbed the gun, but go ahead, continue.
Grosskreutz then pointed his handgun and advanced on Rittenhouse, who shot Grosskreutz in the arm, severing most of his right biceps muscle. At least 16 gunshots from other sources were heard on video during the time that Rittenhouse was on the ground. Do they know who shot all the...
Those were other things shooting around different areas. People were shooting and stuff. So those are unrelated as far as I know. I'm not really 100% sure. But it wasn't Grosskreutz and it wasn't Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse does shoot Grosskreutz one time in the arm here.
Proof that firearm was registered to him, please, Ray.
Yeah, I mean.
Please. Thank you. Proceed, Megan.
Let me see. Guess I'll have to Google that for a second here.
Is that my boost can on fat? Because I really need it right now.
Well, PolitiFact says it's not
you can't trust
Rittenhouse to carry.
Yes, it was. That's why they dismissed it.
Did he lawfully? Does he have a permit? Was it registered to him? Is what I'm asking. You said yes.
Well, no, it's
show me where
it's definitely registered to his buddy who bought it. But he has the right to
illegally have the goddamn firearm.
Illegally have the gun. See, that's the thing. You don't have to own the gun to possess.
Oh my god, ownership, I'm so fucking done with your conversation. No, I'm not.
But you're not living in reality, Rachel. Ownership and possession are two very different things. That's why there's a word that says ownership and another word that says possession.
My ass is really on Venus right now. Let me tell you. Venus.
I'm sorry that there's two different words that mean two different things. Yeah, I'm sorry. I live in reality.
Okay, so
I don't live in their ballooning land like you.
Well, I'm looking at another Wikipedia article, and it says it talks about Wisconsin gun laws. Was his gun issued in Wisconsin? Do you know? Or
yes, and it never left Wisconsin. It was always in Wisconsin. It was never carried across state lines.
He has all the documents about the.
It says no person 14 years of age.
No, I just watched the case and watched all the evidence come out in court.
You don't have proof. Okay, all right, sorry.
It says no person 14 years of age or older, but under 16 years of age may have in his or her possession or control any firearm.
Which he was over.
Yeah. So as far as age goes, he was entitled.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if he had an actual license or not.
Hunting license, yes.
Show me a copy of that.
You know what? You're the prosecution. You have the burden of proof. You find the evidence.
Doing shit for you. You're the one who thinks you're so right. Show it. Prove it.
No, that's the thing. The prosecution, the one accusing, or the ones left with the burden of proof.
I'm not accusing anything.
So yeah, you are. You're accusing him of this stuff. I'm the one saying he didn't do it.
I'm asking questions.
So you need to find the evidence, Rachel. That's how that works. Just like the prosecution has to show evidence.
I'm asking a question.
So if you want to accuse him of something, how about you show the evidence?
You're the one who said that it was 100%. He absolutely. It was registered and lawful. So if you're saying that, then
you're the one saying it's not. So you're the one accusing.
I never said it wasn't. I never said it. Did I ever say it wasn't? Ray?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes,
nope. I said no. I did not. I said prove it. Prove it was. Never said it wasn't. Never once. Rewind and listen. Never once said it wasn't.
Okay, so I'm going to go to what happened after the shooting. So Rittenhouse got back to his feet and walked toward police with his hands up and the rifle strapped across his chest. Several police officers testified during the trial that they were responding to an active shooter incident and did not recognize that Rittenhouse was the shooter. He was reportedly told to get out of the road, and when he continued to advance, one officer attempted to pepper spray him. Several witnesses and protesters.
You're not listening to a command. Yeah. Wonder what would happen if he would have been black.
He would have got off like the kid that got off on 5 counts of murder the very same day.
You're so
Coffee's
out of
his
fucking
name.
mind. Stop talking.
Am I? Have you heard of Coffee? The guy who was just charged with 4 counts of murder, killed his girlfriend and 3 police officers, found not guilty the very same day that Rittenhouse was found not guilty. Do you know about that one? No, you probably don't, huh?
Everything you've said since you don't believe racism is alive and well.
Is that not real?
Is literally a moot point.
Hey, Morgan,
literally anything you say after that, I don't give a shit about.
I'm just gonna send you the link, Morgan. Watch. A guy was just found not guilty. Black kid.
Oh, there was a guy. Oh my god. There was one guy.
5 counts of murder. 5 counts of murder.
I remember you posting that on Facebook.
Yes, exactly. Because it did happen. See, the crazy leftist wants you to think that it doesn't happen. So,
I'm not a fucking leftist, first of all.
Yeah,
I'm just a fucking human being.
Oh, yeah, you are.
I do not identify with
the fact
any
that you
political
identify
side.
as feminist, I mean, that'll tell you.
I stand up for women's rights because I think that we also are not treated fairly. So
I stand up for women's rights too.
So does that make me a fucking feminist?
It's not fake. Oh fuck no, definitely not. I don't stand up for fake women's rights. I don't believe in fake things.
I don't even want to fucking know what those are.
And shit.
Move on.
I don't believe in transgender. Transgender women.
Oh my god, please move on. My fucking head is gonna explode.
Yeah, if you were a real feminist, you wouldn't believe in that either.
Righty. So
you're the one who called me a feminist.
No, you said it the other night on the show. You said you were a feminist. Put it on Papo.
Listen, dude. Hey, I'm just a fucking female.
Okay.
Who has her opinions.
My bad.
And I do believe.
I heard you say that, so maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
Yeah,
I apologize.
No. Okay. A lot of things I say on that are fucking 100%. I'm being I'm not. It depends on what you consider feminist. Depends on your definition.
Well, one of them crazy feminists.
Moving on. Several witnesses and protesters had shouted for him to be arrested. When asked at a press conference why Rittenhouse was not stopped, Kenosha Sheriff David Beth said, "In situations that are high stress, you have such incredible tunnel vision." He implied officers may not have realized he had been involved in the shooting. Likewise, Kenosha Police Chief Daniel Miskinis said that there was nothing to suggest this individual was involved in any criminal behavior due to the fact that someone walking towards the police with their hands up was no longer abnormal in the wake of the protests. Video clips from Kenosha immediately went viral after the shooting. Facebook criticized for allowing militia groups to post solicitations for armed attendees and for failing to respond to several hundred.
But ISIS can call for death to America, and people can call for burning of our cities and bloodshed, and that's okay, Well,
they don't get to do that on Facebook, do they?
Yes, they do. Facebook, Twitter, all of them. Yes, they do. ISIS has a Twitter page. Yes, Morgan. If you're calling for death to America, you're good in their eyes. Yes.
Oh, let me look that up right now.
How do you feel about the attack on the Capitol?
That was not an attack on the Capitol. For two, there's video of Capitol Guard.
Everybody clap your hands.
No, they don't have a nice.
Play my douche canoe. Play my douche canoe.
Number two, there's videos of Capitol Guards letting people inside. Only one person died, and it died at the hands of Capitol Guards.
ISIS doesn't have a page on Facebook anymore. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, Ray's always right. What are you talking about? Has to be.
The top page for ISIS is I don't know if she's a singer or what she is. But she's some
there is that singer chick. Her name's Isis something.
Yeah. Oh my god! Did you just fucking Google a singer? That is hilarious.
No, that's just. I mean, if you look at pages for ISIS, that's the top.
Maybe it's Twitter. Did I say Twitter?
I don't know.
I don't know if Twitter.
Again, after the racist thing.
Or maybe what's Al Qaeda. But anyway, whoever just took control of fucking Afghanistan when they pulled out, they have a Twitter page, and they call for fucking death to America. China calls for death to America on their shit all the time too, and fucking that shit's perfectly fine.
Well, is it the government of those countries, or is it just a bunch of weirdos?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that.
Can you record that what he just said so I can make that my ringtone?
I know that.
Just that I don't know that, and then send that to me.
I know that China is calling for destruction of Taiwan and Japan and Australia and America if we get involved.
I know goddamn national ambassador.
I know that China's calling for that.
Well, I mean, we can barely cope with COVID, so I don't know. Maybe they.
Which we can thank Dr. Fauci in China for.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, you know that it was funded by Dr.
I like this. This is actually turned into a comedy show, so it's great.
But see, that's the funny thing. You can call it comedy, but this is facts that you can actually find. So it was it came from a Wuhan lab. That is fact. And it was funded by a laboratory here in America that Dr. Fauci oversees. Okay, these are all facts, dude. This shit has come out. You just actually have to listen and look and research, and you'll find this stuff. So, I mean, hey, no one believe a word I ever say. I'll tell you the same thing I tell anyone when it comes to math, science, whatever. Don't believe anything I say. Just research it, look it up, and as soon as you find the answer, look at that source, cite that source.
I had 10 hours a day to search up shit like this, and maybe, but I do have a full-time job and kids, and I coach soccer.
Well, see, that's the thing.
So
I live and work and go to school from home, so this is my life. Okay. So my shows are my life, my school is my life, and grandma's my life. That's it. So I do have nothing else to do but research what I'm talking about. And Rachel, I promise you, anytime I don't know something, I will say hold on, listen. Yeah, anytime I say I have a child, but he's 14 and he lives in North Carolina.
I know, but why would your child not be the first thing you say is your life, dude?
Because he's in North Carolina.
Still can be your life.
So, okay, he's my life fictitiously through the phone when I call him. Okay. I don't see him.
Very different mindset.
No, I don't see him. I don't get him. He's not here. I don't have him. Like, he can't be my life. What am I? My life? Oh, it's money. Okay, he's not. Like,
Sorry.
If my son was right here, he would be my life. But he's not. There's nothing I can do. I only can have him whenever it's convenient for whenever.
I'm sorry.
It sucks. It really fucking sucks. Don't get me wrong. But anyway, yeah. So trust me. Anytime I speak on Rachel, I'm telling you, if I don't know something to be accurate, I will say I don't know. Like I always do.
That's great, but you've said some things that are really, really just my bottom line of not being able to accept.
It can blow your mind, and you may not be able to accept it.
It doesn't blow my mind. It's just there's
the issue
a character
is
problem.
Nothing I've said isn't factual.
That is incorrect.
No, that's the thing. It's not.
Yes, it is. It's incorrect, dude.
No, you're basing yours off emotion.
No, I'm not. Okay, first of all, you're such a fucking patriot. Male thing to say.
What's wrong with patriotism? How come someone could be
Puerto Rico's my patriarchy. It's a patriarchy, not patriotism.
Patriarchy doesn't exist.
Jesus
what
God.
Patriarchy?
Oh my God!
Are you kidding me? Woman, this isn't 1927.
Are you fucking punking me right now?
No, this shit doesn't.
Morgan,
you're gonna
please tell me he's joking around.
You're gonna tell me that the pageway gap's real too, huh?
Oh my! I really have to go.
Let me ask you a question.
I really have to go.
What's the most important thing to a boss? What's the most important thing to a boss? The bottom line. How much money they make. So you're telling me if every boss knew they could save 23 cents on every dollar just by hiring women, you think a man would have a job anywhere in the world? Give me a break. It doesn't exist. I'm telling you, these are things made up to just put victimism on people and divide us and separate us. And Rachel, it's not real. It's not. I can sit here and give you facts and argue and do all the things you want. I can do anything you want. But
hey Morgan, I hope if second lives, like how you have second and third lives, hopefully, I don't know if they exist, but I hope that Ray comes back as a black woman.
Why? So I can see how it's just as real as it is now?
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it. I just hope you come back as a black woman.
Okay, there's only one law out there
that
that is systemically racist, and it's called affirmative action. There is no other one that is out there that is. There's not one.
I need like Advil or something.
Fine.
Oh, BC powder will work.
I know. Facts and truth hurt. Really does.
Oh, yeah.
Really does. I know. Hey, I used to be blind too.
OMG.
I used to think Clinton was a good guy.
Oh, man. Morgan, I really do think that. I think you're punking me. I honestly do.
No, he's not. I just don't think he realized just how different our opinions are.
Oh yeah, probably not.
And
he probably didn't.
I don't think you were ready for this much truth and reality.
Oh no.
No, because
completely opposite.
You live in this fantasy bubble.
I wasn't expecting you to be like
so
that bad. No, like so
bad.
fucking...
I'm 100% right and correct and good and honest.
Oh my God, and you're a narcissist?
And the difference between you and me is I support your ability to disagree with me. You want to shut me up.
I support your ability to disagree with me too, dude.
No,
I love that.
You want to shut me up? You want to get off
I do not. I never
You've been trying
have I said one thing,
yes.
Morgan, saying that you have 100% vehemently said this entire time you are 100% right. I will never say I'm 100% right because I don't fucking know everything.
No. I'll never say I'm 100% right.
You know if we go to heaven or hell, we don't fucking know.
No,
You're just going by the information you have.
I never said
you can't be 100% right on anything unless you experience it yourself.
I'm 100% right on things that I say that I'm right on because.
Yeah, but that's everything, right?
No, it's not. I just sat here and said.
Yes, it is.
No, I just sat a few minutes ago and said I didn't know something, and you said, "Oh, we better mark it." No, anytime I don't know something, I say I don't know it. I only speak.
Have you ever changed your mind about anything? Like, have you ever been like, "Oh, you know what?
I've changed my own mind."
That.
Rachel, I've changed my own mind. I've walked into a situation and gone, "Okay, I'm thinking this," and then in my own mind went, "Nope, we're doing this," and I've changed my complete. No, Rachel, you don't understand. Facts change everything, but that's the thing. When the facts are in,
but you're no, darling. No, stop.
I don't let
your facts
emotion
are not
outweigh facts. No, but facts are facts when they're video evidence. Facts are facts when they're.
I understand.
Testimony.
Okay, I get that.
Facts when they're facts. No, facts do matter, Rachel. Facts do matter, and you can't say facts don't. Facts are facts, and they do fucking matter.
And racism doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't. Not anymore. In 19. No, I'm not saying racist people don't. I never said that. But racism does not.
Yes,
okay, the shit is not stacked against no one.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No,
yes,
it's
it is.
not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
yes,
not.
It is.
No,
yes,
it's
it is.
not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Listen, I've had cops attack me, beat, jump down.
Yes,
I'm just as white as anyone is black. No, it's not.
Oh my God.
It's the choices we make, the things we do in this world.
You're insane,
that dictate where we go. No, I'm not. I'm not a fucking victim, Rachel. I'm not a victim.
Wow, man. This is like offensive. I don't even think I would.
Maybe it is.
Well, here's the thing.
It's offensive to like actuality.
And here's the thing about
the entire fucking country.
Here's the thing about the Kenosha.
No, you're
Here's
wrong.
the thing about the Kenosha situation.
Wrong.
The thing about the Kenosha situation is that it was like hordes of Rays and Rachels were facing off against each other. So it was two crowds of people who.
A bunch of
although I would not be fucking out there, so it wouldn't be because I'd be like, I don't know, probably watching.
I wouldn't have gone either. And if I would have
been with my cat.
If I'd had 17-year-old son, I'd say I don't care about whatever. You're staying home. You're not going out.
Yeah, our asses would be sitting watching a movie for sure.
That's easy to say when it's across the country, but when it's 5 miles away and they're burning the town,
then we would literally leave the town. We'd probably drive to fucking Orlando.
There was a curfew.
I would go stand up and fight for your shit, Rachel.
Oh, good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Well,
are you better equipped for that emotionally in terms of maturity, all that kind of stuff?
Maybe. What's that matter? Like we all got to grow up at some point.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a curfew for good reason, and it was to protect people.
And you know what? And you're right. And no one should have been out at that moment, including the fucking rioters, because there was a curfew.
And I'm not, and certainly their actions were not justifiable either. I mean, breaking.
Not at all.
burning things, and that wasn't okay either. So
and you're 100% right. Rittenhouse should have never been there. He was a young guy. Shouldn't have been. There should have been other people standing up instead of him. But you know what? No one was. And I blame the officials. I blame the governor. I blame those people because they should have sent someone in to do something. Okay? There shouldn't have been 3 nights of riots and looting. There shouldn't have been one night, but one night, okay. One night, shame on you. 2 nights, shame on me. It's the way I feel about everything. You do one thing wrong, shame on you. You do something wrong twice, shame on me. You
is it
rape
legal?
one kid wrong, shame on you. You rape 2 kids, that's shame on me. I shouldn't have let that shit happen again.
Is it legal in America to declare martial law? Is that?
Yes, they can declare martial law anytime they want. That's the problem. The government's got way too much power, and that's the thing. I would much rather smaller police. Like, I would love for the federal government to disband all its police and military shit, and like my community, we just police ourselves, and then your community, you just police yourselves.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely not going to rely on that from you since you think racism isn't real. So definitely, please don't do that.
No, I don't think racism is real. That's why I'll treat everyone equally.
You will.
Yeah, that's the thing, Rachel.
People
who believe racism is real treat people different by race.
Oh my fucking God, dude.
No, that is fact. That's why you keep.
Okay, you know what, dude? I'm going to say this and I'm going to stop, honestly. I personally, so fucking many times in my life, have seen racism blatantly, not only in a small way, but in very large ways, which I will not get into. And I'm fucking telling
20?
you will not change
30?
my goddamn mind.
40?
Don't fuck with me right now, dude.
50? 50 times? Okay. So how many people are in the country?
I'm done talking with you about this.
50 times, Rachel. 50 fucking, let's say 100 times.
Taking the earphone out of my ear so I don't hear you.
You're throwing out anecdotal evidence. Like what, 100 times? How many people are in the country? 350 million? Would you like to know how much of a percentage that is? That's the point, Rachel. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. I'm not saying it's not a thing. I'm not saying there aren't people who do it. I'm simply stating it's not on the grand scheme level, and it's not a systemic, and it's not a everyone is thing like people like you want to pretend it is. And the difference between you leftist crazy fucks and real people like me is you want to silence me. You want to silence me. You want to silence and not talk to me, while I want to defend your right to disagree. See, that's the difference. You're the only person. You're the one who's, got you back. You're the one who's not wanting to hear. You're the one silencing. You're the one shutting me up. Well, I'm trying to say, no, Rach, listen.
Nothing but listening to. What are you fucking talking about?
Then why are you doing what you're doing?
Man, the YouTube comments are going to be a doozy.
Not just mute. Did you not try like 18 times to shut me up and get me off? Did you not try to almost break us up and fucking let's just hang up? Like, none of that really happened, Rach? Or are you also not paying attention to this conversation? Like, seriously, like, what? Right.
Intelligent people will understand why I'm doing what I'm doing.
You guys got to check out the next Pat.
That's very up for debate.
You guys got to check out the next Patbo video. There's like 2 or 3 hours of this, and it's about all kinds of shit. It's not even about politics. It's like
oh my God,
fucking video games and movies and shit.
Literally.
Yeah. Ray was on painkillers, and somehow that made you louder. Actually, that was the funny thing about it.
And I was just on fire, so.
Norco hops me up, bud.
Really? So that's not a sedative?
Well, no, it is for most people. We got to remember, I work in backwards. So downers perk me up.
Goddamn right. Applause, everyone, applause.
Uppers perk me down. No, when it comes to drugs, when it comes to reality, when it comes to reality, I live in reality. Okay.
Morgan, also please edit just that clip too, and send that.
It doesn't matter, Rich. You can say whatever you want. Take me out of context, please. I love it because I'll use that for the same argument ever: is listen to the whole conversation and you'll learn the truth. Don't take me out of context. Because taking snippets from somebody is taking them out of context.
I was trying to be funny in a funny moment.
That's true. Or maybe you don't know that's true. I'm not really sure what you know. Not really sure if you know what's true is true. So they're actually pretty obvious.
They don't really hate each other, folks. This is just the way they talk. This is they come together.
Camera.
That's what makes the Papo exciting, right? Because
this is just for camera.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. We're making out 10 minutes later, you guys. Don't worry.
Oh, we're definitely not doing that.
Definitely not.
Remember, I'm a feminist.
That's right. That's right. And I'm a crazy conservative, so fuck.
Yeah, and yet Ray's the one.
Like Ebony and I.
Yeah, honestly, that would be fucking phenomenal. The conservative and the crazy feminist. But it has to be better than that. We have to come up with a better name.
We should. If we had our own show, yeah, we have to put some of that.
But
I do still think "Don't Get Me Started" is a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That should be what it's called.
Do you think
Rachel?
Could you sit down for an hour a week and argue with me like this and still be okay with me?
100%, but I think no one's gonna listen to it.
I don't really think.
Or it could be brilliant. Because
I'll tell you right now, I'm already not mad at you again. So I mean,
no, I'm fine. I mean, there's things I'm not going to forget, but I do love you.
All right, that's fine. Once again, we don't ever have to agree. We don't have to like.
Well, it's. I mean, I have a lot of friends with a lot of different views, dude. Like all over the fucking place. It's never. We can have discussions and chill, and they're usually not screaming like me and you. That's why we're so special. Because usually I come in pretty calm and chill, but then like you're the same as me with the way you communicate, which I don't even know how Morgan is fucking sane dealing with this.
You're passionate.
You need medication, Morgan.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you
need medication to deal with us.
Well,
you guys to smoke more weed.
Well, it's like with Papo. You guys bring the energy to it, So the only problem is that the other guys had trouble getting a word in edgewise, right?
It's also that Zeke is so awesome, dude. When he said something, it was like everything he said was fucking gold.
Yeah, he saved up like gold for these little moments.
It was so good. I'm like, wait, what did Zeke just say?
Yeah, no, I like Zeke. Zeke's cool.
He was super cool.
Chill, yeah. All right, well, I think this went well.
I think we're bipolar.
Well, for the most part. Yeah.
Both viewpoints were represented, so that's good because a lot of people live in a bubble, right? A lot of people live in a bubble these days, and that's not a good thing either, right?
I really wasn't intentioning. I came and I was like, all right, Rachel, we're gonna have a calm, cool discussion, and then I realized, and then I forgot that it was Ray.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen with me. I'm too opinionated.
I really came in with high hopes to do that,
I'm too opinionated, and I believe in my right to say my point. And I believe in everyone else's right to say their points too, and that's why I'll always stand up for you to disagree with me, and anyone else too. And I'm gonna just simply.
We'll see what the feedback is on this.
Yeah, and
then we'll go from that to see if we do our podcast.
They're probably not gonna like it. It's just a bunch of bickering and arguing the whole time. But I don't know. Maybe they'll like because there was a lot of information talk, and we did go kind of all over the place. But you know what? I'll simply say the same thing. I tell my son, I tell everyone that I ever speak to, like, hey, you don't have to believe me. Just look for yourself, you guys. Research yourself. There's nothing wrong with research.
I can say that.
Research is always good. We should always do it for ourselves. And then anytime we find an answer, we should never be satisfied with that answer. We should always look at the source of that answer and cross-reference that, and we should search it again. And you know what? It never hurts scrolling down 10 or 15 categories on the Google search because Google is synonymous for not actually giving correct information.
I agree with that.
Well, he gets into heated arguments with people who agree with him too. Like this guy Jason.
He just likes to fucking argue. Even a goddamn lawyer.
He and this guy Jason, they got into like marathon argument, and they were pissed off at each other for a day.
Ray's pastime is literally just to like argue.
Well, it isn't so much that. It's just I'm good at it, and I know what's reality, and I know what's real. And the problem is too much people.
Dude, you're hilarious. You really are. Like, genuinely, like I'm not being a dick. You're fucking hilarious.
I try. try.
We should do.
I try
Yeah,
that too.
we should do the Don't Get Me Started. Do it as a video show on YouTube. Yeah, for sure.
Oh God, my
We
face
should
will
do
be
it
all
as
red
a
though.
live show though, so that way I don't have
can
to
we
edit
take
nothing.
live
Calls.
questions?
Yes, and live questions.
Or comments.
See, that would make it good.
Now that
Comments
would be
on
fun.
YouTube.
That
Yeah.
would make it good.
All right, yeah. Comment down below, everybody, if you want to hear me and Rachel fucking argue about some more bullshit.
I love that idea.
To your live questions.
You know what? This is not true crime news. I actually don't even want to put that name on it because I don't want to. This is the tester for Don't Get Me Started.
Well, right? You know.
Well, the only reason I would say put true crime down is because it is your guys' show, and that is what we're here for. We did talk crime, but that's what'll get 1,000 people to click on and listen.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what?
If you put anything else down, they're probably not going to listen to it.
That's true.
Well, this episode is evidence that people with opposing points of view can argue. They can even argue in a heated way, but they can still be friends, and they can walk away.
I hope so.
And that's we don't see enough of that these days, right? So
you're passionate like I'm passionate, man. And when I'm in that fit of when I believe something, just like you do, I hope you respect that when I believe something to be real to me, I feel equally as passionate about it.
No, of course.
I mean, I guess I gotta kind of respect the fact that you are that passionate about it. Just don't at the end of the day, we just can't shit, I guess, on each other for having opposing views.
No, we can't. Sometimes we gotta agree to disagree.
And you know what?
I don't have to think you're right to fucking have love for you. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
think of North Korea, where there's only one accepted point of view.
Exactly.
That country's
Thank God we live in the greatest country in the world where we're allowed to disagree.
Well, this country's nice too.
And women can
don't knock Canada.
And women can have a point of view.
Unlike Saudi Arabia, where they can't even go to school.
Actually, Morgan, I've decided after having this podcast, I'm now moving to Canada because of Ray.
Oh, yeah.
Just kidding. I'm fucking kidding.
You know, and Morgan, actually, after this podcast, I think I've decided I'm moving somewhere where women can't have a point of view.
Saudi Arabia, Pakistan.
I'm kidding, everyone.
I'm
kidding, everyone.
That's the best.
Oh, fun. Rach, I love you, kid.
I love you too, man.
All right. Have a good night, you guys.
All right, you
guys.
God,
you're ending it on that.
Hey,